I'll let them explain further about what kind of design they're into. So welcome to the platform,
Thank
lady
you,
and gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. So do introduce yourself before we get into the interview.
Yeah, my name is Modi MJ, an architectural designer and creative designer as well.
Great.
Okay, I'm Halimatuba.
Okay, also good.
Halimatuba,
Halimatuba, I do architectural designing.
Yeah.
very well. Okay, so thank you for coming to the platform.
Thank you.
So we start with you, Modu.
Yeah.
Do tell Coffee with who was Modu Mjai before he became a co-founder of Archipex Studios.
Okay, that's a wonderful question, which I'm going to be so happy about to answer. Modi MJ was this young person who is so creative, as many elders would say, when it comes to creating things and also, taking inspiration from things to create other things. That's like putting value on things. Yeah, that's how I started during my school days. I was actually a little bit different from the normal kids. Like many kids would like to, be fancy about what football tells and what other games would tell. But for me, it's actually different. I'm into craft. I'm also into, looking at things differently. That got me into having the mind of an architectural designer, and I also grew it to this level.
Okay.
Like for an example, when I was a kid, we used to buy these books, exercise books, which usually have footballers on the cover pages and a lot of things. But for me, I'm actually different from other kids. When they go for what football tells, like what's the Ronaldinho on the cover page, they all go for that. Having Zidane on the cover page, they were also happy about that. But for me, I always look up to seeing cover pages with buildings, amazing structures, bridges, like that of the Eiffel Tower, that of the bridges, and a lot of things. So I was always into those kind of things, imagining how are all these things possible and why are they on the pictures. So I'm always like, someday I'll be able to, get into all these and know what it all tells.
Okay.
That's what got me the inspiration to be an architecture designer.
Nice. So you're keen to detail.
Exactly.
Nice.
That's who I am.
Okay, well, nice to know that. So Halimata, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I was this girl who was like, I was someone who liked football so much. Yeah, sometimes I do go to watch football. But most of the time, the thing I was afraid of was like going on top of these buildings. I was someone who's very scared to go on top of these buildings. Okay, I do imagine how are these people even good on top of these buildings, especially on the last floor, and these buildings don't even collapse. It was something very questioning, and I do even question my parents. How is this thing really functioning? I was someone who was very curious about something I really question myself. So I do research, and these buildings also, if I see them on cover pages, I used to be very curious about how it is done on papers and other stuff. So I came up with this idea. I liked drawing, technical drawing especially. I liked technical drawing. When I was doing technical drawing, I used to be very amazed. Wow, how is this really something that is put on paper and other stuff? So I came up like, why not I put myself into something that I really like, because I'm someone who is very curious about things like this. So I wanted to do this architecture to be someone who is very creative.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you guys have a very similar background. I guess, you both looked on magazine covers, and that's where you saw these beautiful buildings and imagined how they were able to be built. And, they've been put on paper, but at the same time, they're real life structures.
Exactly.
So that's where your inquisitiveness came from.
Exactly.
So I guess being young, you were very curious.
So curious.
And you were very inquisitive.
Super curious.
And then now, you guys are able to set up your own, studios.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know there's three of you, right?
Yeah, the three of us.
Yes. So tell us about Idrissa. How did you guys meet him?
Okay. With Idrissa, we were all in the same class when we were in architecture school.
Okay.
But at first the idea came up when we graduated. Even like prior to graduation, I was thinking of what are we gonna do. So I started actually working with a few of the people within the school, because I was the architectural students president by then. So I have a little insight of how to work with students and teamwork.
Okay.
So I actually collaborated a lot of events with architectural interests.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of students with me as well. So we study together. We also do a lot of things, but my main idea was to look at problems in our communities, societies, and put a solution to that. So we actually worked a lot of projects with some other students, but after graduation, I thought of, all right, the things were tough on us, even to see someone who is going to sponsor these ideas was a problem. So I thought of, all right, why not we put business into this thing, and then what we get into the business, we sustain our life and also, give back to the community.
Nice.
This is what brings about Archipex Studios. So, the time I have the idea of Archipex Studios, I spoke to Halima too about the thing, and then, so we started working on it, and then I still thought that I needed more idea. You understand? So I need to get into the job market to have more experience.
Yeah.
So I got to the job market, and then I was hired by another company. So we were working there, and then luckily I met with Idrissa there, so we were the two architectural designers there.
Nice.
Yeah, so when things were going, and then the company actually relocated and then went to a different country, then we brought up the idea of the Archipex Studio again. Then he joined the team, and then the three of us founded it, and then we actually established it, and then we call ourselves the co-founders of Archipex Studios.
Nice. That's beautiful. So it kind of tells how you guys met.
Exactly.
And at the same time, you could have been like, let me just keep this to myself, but you decided to bring more people on board.
Exactly.
So that means you're promoting togetherness and collective effort, which is very, very important.
Exactly.
Because I think when you synchronize your energies together, it can become a success.
Exactly.
Instead of it just being one person handling everything and then being overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's actually going to be a very tedious thing because architecture is very complex.
Yeah.
And the name Archipex also comes along with that because of its complexity, complexity, I can say in that way, is why we decided to name it Archipex, because architecture is archi and then you have plex, which is from complex.
Nice.
So this company is actually built. We co-founded it, but we are pretty sure that we are not going to be there forever. So we are ever ready. We are grooming young ones that we take over this thing.
That's very
because
smart.
we created it and we want it to be sustainable.
Nice. I like that. Young people thinking about the future ahead of them and not just focusing on now.
Yeah.
So tell us about your childhood then. As young children, I know you were inquisitive and you were very curious and nosy. So now tell us about, your other behaviors. How were you growing up as a young Modu and as a young Halimatu?
Ooh, it was, my mom would tell you this, I was so stubborn, so stubborn to the core. I can't imagine how I'm stubborn, because to me, I'm stubborn a little bit except now, but my mom is always like, you're okay now, I think you're cool now. Like I'm like, if I'm cool right now,
I wonder
how I was when I was young. So yeah, I was very stubborn, but I think it's because of how curious I was that got me to be so stubborn, because I always want to, get in detail of whatever I want to know. I'm always curious, especially when it comes to creativity, creating things, bringing about ideas, being in competitions, learning from people.
Nice.
It doesn't matter who brings it, whether young or old, but I'm always into that thing. I always figure out what I want to know. Though I have done a lot of, timey thing, play a lot. Them see, alabi, them see konyi, ton, hamga, them faratu and stuff, It's all parts of the creativity. It's always amazing to be a kid and also being able to turn trust to something valuable.
Nice.
That was the life I was living until I found out that yes,
you have
there is that part of the world that I belong to, which is architecture.
Nice, creative. So Halima, to tell us about your childhood.
I was someone who also was very stubborn.
Okay.
I was someone who liked climbing these trees.
Really?
Exactly. Yeah, sure. To find mangoes and other stuff, scale on fences. I was so stubborn, and people will be like, "This guy is very stubborn. Keep on, come down bugo basic family with that." He's very stubborn. Even some male are not stubborn like her. I was like, I just have to do what I have to do.
Yeah.
Despite what people do say, I was someone who is very stubborn, but I liked the time I was a child. It was something very fun, yeah.
You enjoyed your childhood.
Yeah.
And I guess, are you guys still stubborn till date? Like, do you still follow up to, the end of what you want to get to?
Of course.
Exactly.
We always go to the tip.
That's great. That's great. That's determination.
Exactly.
I guess that stubbornness, it could be looked at determination, like you're determined to do something. So you do it by all means to get there.
That's it.
Yeah, okay. So we'll change it from stubbornness to determination. Okay. So now, tell us what further inspired you into setting up Archipex. You mentioned about, how you put it together and why you thought about it. But what was the reason why you decided that, okay, I need to set up this and I need to have these people to help me do it?
Yeah, it's because of the problems I've been seeing with the idea of architecture. I see as a solution, as a tool that I can use to solve a lot of problems in our country.
Yeah.
This is the reason why I thought of, coming with the idea of Archipex. Like I can say, we thought of coming up with the idea of Archipex because in our country we are unfortunate in some other areas because we have, I can say, our living standard is a little bit moderate.
Okay.
I can say in that way because we can actually relate to it with the recent rainstorm that just came and just at least put a lot of people in this very hard situation.
Yeah.
These are a lot of things that architecture can actually mitigate.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a lot of it, if homes are put to standard, everybody will be safe.
Yeah.
To me, because let me give you one example. For example, in our hospitals, like the time of COVID-19, it was really congested.
Yeah.
And then people were admitted in different places, but then the places were not actually conducive. To me, we don't actually need to have a particular place that need to be conducive, but everywhere need to be conducive.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, so even having our hospital conducive, having our hospital congested, if we have our homes so conducive enough to accommodate the sick people, doctors don't really need to put everybody in one place.
Yeah.
This will put a high risk of a patient contracting another disease.
True.
You understand? So having that concept of architectural design with all this consideration, making sure that the design functions and also put a lot of focus on health, like room climate, and also the ecological aspect of every space.
Yeah.
This will bring about functionality and also a very healthy environment for everybody.
Indeed.
So it will even help people when it comes to disease. For example, this pandemic, the spaces they will be in will protect them from contracting certain diseases.
True.
And a lot of things. Another example is the roads we have on our highways. We don't really need to have very fancy roads, very expensively constructed roads, but the way we take care of them matters a lot.
Yeah.
If we build here $1 billion roads with just big things, fancy things, luxurious things, I don't think without the maintenance it would actually be a mess. It's just a waste.
Yeah.
But how we take care of these things really matters, and we need a lot of solutions. And I believe, and we believe, that architecture has a great role to play when it comes to solving all these problems.
Okay.
That's why we
came up with the
Archipex studio thing. We're still designing for business purpose, but we also give out to the community by bringing about a lot of ideas and solution oriented projects that we need to give back to the community.
Okay, so viewers, we'll take a short break and go with our sponsors so you know who is behind the program of Coffee With, and when we return we have more for you.
Coffee With is proudly sponsored by Jar Oil Company Limited. Jar Oil Company, the Gambia's largest and leading dealer in petroleum products. Jar Oil's petroleum products are of the highest quality and the best in the country. Our unbeatable prices guarantees you a give back on every liter purchase in any of our stations conveniently located near you and in all regions of the country. Besides our petroleum products, Jar Oil offers a one-stop shop for your shopping needs. From basic commodities like rice, sugar, flour, cooking oil to the finest and affordable jar gas bottle products and cleanest and hygienic jar water products packaged as per health guidelines. Jar Oil Company offers these commodities in its stations for your convenience. At Jar Oil, every client is a priority. We are truly yours and proud to serve you even better. And guess what? Special offer from Jar available for bulk buyers. Yes, for bulk buyers and retailers of our petroleum products. Jar Oil is your most reliable partner.
So welcome back to Coffee With. Now we're joined with the other member of the Archipex Studios, and he goes by the name of Idrissa Jammeh. So welcome to Coffee With.
Thank you. Thank you, Melanie.
Yeah, so just briefly tell us, who was Idrissa Jammeh before he became one of the co-founders of Archipex Studios?
Okay, thank you. Idrissa Jammeh was born in the Gambia, Banjul, brought up in the Gambia. I had a passion for architecture since I was little, actually. I can remember one of my high school teachers pointing out, Mr. Ken, actually, who was in Laos. He pointed out that I'm one of the students that can be an architectural designer. Yeah, but then at that point in time, my eyes were set for medical school.
Okay.
I got admitted, had to travel, but then due to financial constraints, I had to come back. And then when I got back, I think his prayers got answered. I went to GTTI to study architectural draftsmanship, where we graduated. We were all in the same class.
Yeah, they said.
And then at the point, we went head to head for the Architectural Students Association's presidency.
Okay.
And then I think at this point I would like to point out one thing. Politics in the Gambia, it's crazy. It's a period of time.
Yeah.
And then for the government to function,
Yeah.
it breaks.
Indeed.
And I think each and every person that says you're a political leader, you've got some stuff up here to be able to, lead a particular group.
Yeah.
So once we say we're political leaders, and then we go loggerheads during that that point in time where like we're rushing for an office.
Yeah.
I think yes, it should be a war of minds, not a war of hearts, not the war of insults and whatnot, but then a war of minds. And then once a person wins, we should be able to come back together and work together, because this was what happened. Like we went at loggerheads. We went to a war, a crazy war.
Yeah.
Like crazy one. Everyone was saying like we don't know who to vote for.
Yeah.
But then he eventually won, and then we were in the same office. We worked together.
Yeah.
And then we saw things come true. We saw a graduation come true. The first graduation for GTTI ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
All under his leadership.
Under his leadership, and
Wow.
then we worked together. You understand?
Yeah.
So finally, we went out of school, and then we worked together. We're still together. So this shows that progress and success is not about one person.
Yeah.
The leader can be a leader. Yeah, he has traits, but he don't know everything.
True.
So open the hearts and get other leaders to be part of you.
True.
Then it will make you complete.
Indeed.
So well, after GTTI, we went our separate ways actually. And for attachment, I worked with Guy at the Banjul Road. I worked with Mr. Manu, Imams, a certain period of time. Yeah, great minds, great people.
Indeed.
And eventually we came back and worked together in the same office.
See, and that is supposed to be, and that's what I said to him earlier. This just shows that, Archipex could have been done by himself because he thought of it, but then he realized, he needed to team up with others. And then, you guys met, you guys teamed up, then he met Halimatu, and you all were in the same class, but, he thought about you guys to bring it together so that, it could become a success. And it just shows that you have to synchronize your energies, like you said. Everyone can become a leader, but we can all work together and try and execute that set purpose. So we'll move on, and we'll talk about challenges. We know as young startups, we always face challenges. There'll be one or two, maybe finance or, a location. So tell us about your challenges at Archipex, Idrissa.
We don't have challenges when it comes to our delivery.
Okay.
But then we have challenges when it comes to, people, trusting you with their work. That's one. Secondly, payments.
Okay.
People paying in the Gambia, it's crazy.
Okay.
But then we've put on strategies to tackle those challenges, and inshallah, we don't say we will not have any, but then we will have a few left to tackle. Okay. For the first one, people trusting you is like they see us as young people.
Okay.
You understand? And then they'll be like, yeah. That's another question. People trusting the youth in the country is not easy.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially when you say you've learned from GTTI.
Yeah.
When you say you've learned from GTTI, they'll say, but then no, brains are in GTTI.
Indeed.
Brains are there. Like, you've got people that the likes of Jabate, the likes of Kinta, the likes of Sawane. These people are brains, and I've worked with them.
Okay.
No, they're not people that you can joke with.
Okay.
So yes, the youth in the Gambia, learning in the Gambia.
Okay. Well, yes. Sorry to cut you. Okay. I do apologize. I know I would have loved to extend this interview. However, we have no more time left. So I know we'll have another opportunity to have this interview, but in the meantime, just have to wrap up.
Okay.
Yes. So I'd like to thank you guys for coming. As a trio, it's amazing having you on the platform. It's amazing knowing your story and how you started. But I'm sure we'll definitely catch up soon. So I'd like to thank my cameramen for taking us, filming us. Thank my director and thank the MCR team. Thank IT for streaming this program. Thank my makeup artist, Betty Berry, and also thank our sponsors, Jar Oil Company Limited, for sponsoring the program. Thank you very much, and that was all we had for you in this episode of Coffee With. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Coffee With is proudly sponsored by Jar Oil Company Limited. Jar Oil Company, the Gambia's largest and leading dealer in petroleum products. Jar Oil's petroleum products are of the highest quality and the best in the country. Our unbeatable prices guarantees you a give back on every liter purchase in any of our stations conveniently located near you and in all regions of the country. Besides our petroleum products, Jar Oil offers a one-stop shop for your shopping needs. From basic commodities like rice, sugar, flour, cooking oil to the finest and affordable jar gas bottle products and cleanest and hygienic jar water products packaged as per health guidelines. Jar Oil Company,